Today, we're going to talk about how the transfer portal is affecting high school student athletes when it comes to recruiting. Very important topic. And if you ask different people, you'll probably get different answers. There's a lot of people out right now that say the portal is not impacting high school athletes. It's not affecting recruiting. But I've been doing this for 21 plus years. During that time, I've helped thousands of athletes get scholarships and go on to the next level. Here's what I will tell you. The transfer portal is 100% affecting the way college coaches recruit. What does that mean for a student athlete? It does mean that there is less opportunity. We're seeing college teams, especially in football being the biggest sport, we're seeing teams literally going to get 30, 40, 50 athletes out of the portal in one given year. So how can you see those numbers or hear those numbers and then think, well, it's not going to impact high school? Not true. 100% is already impacting high school. Here's why. So when we think about high school recruiting, right, we think about high school athletes getting a scholarship, coach coming in, a coach starts to recruit, starts to evaluate you. What that coach is doing, they are literally going off of potential. They're going off of a projection. So like, what does this high school athlete project over the next 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year that they're going to be at our university? That's what they're basing it off of. So in reality, we all know that there's athletes every year that get a scholarship out of high school and then they never really pan out. Whether it's coaching, whether it's opportunity, any reason in the world, but they just don't become starters or they're not getting significant playing time. And so that coach that recruited that athlete, they missed the mark. Not saying it's the athlete's fault, not saying it's the coach's fault, but what I'm saying is they're going off projection. They're going off what we think you will become when you get to college if you are a high school student athlete. Now, let's talk about recruiting the portal or recruiting from the portal. The first thing that we got to think about is athletes in the portal typically already have college experience, meaning they have film, in most cases game film, of them competing at the college level, whether that's D2, D3, or NAIA, or of course your big schools, your P4s, your FBS schools. There's athletes from every single level in the transfer portal that have film. Some of the teams have even competed against these athletes before. So they've seen them on the field live. And now that athlete is in the portal. So as a college coach, what would you do? Would you focus 100% on a student athlete that has the potential, has the ability, projecting to be that guy? Or would you go to the portal and find the athlete that's already that guy? And here's what people don't realize. There's 3,000, a little over 3,000 athletes in football in the portal that come from an FBS school. So a lot of people think the portal is just, it's the D2 athletes, the D3 athletes that go crazy. So now they want to transfer to a D1. But let me help you. There's also thousands of Division I athletes in that portal as well. And they're in that portal looking for the same scholarship that you're looking for as a student athlete. Only difference is they've already been proven that they can be successful at the college level. So let's really start to think about that. Now, here's another stat that I thought was super cool. And when I say cool, meaning like it caught me off guard. I won't say super cool. A stat that really caught me off guard because I didn't think the percentage was this high. So right now, there's over 2,600 athletes in the portal that were on or currently are on athletic scholarships. So what that tells me is this amount of athletes in the portal are the same athletes that came out of high school, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star athletes that have multiple offers, and now they're on scholarship at a program, but for whatever reason, whether it's the coach, whether it's the playing time, whether it's the school, whatever reason, they have entered the portal. So now, student athlete, you are competing with them. And I know there's people out there that say, they're not really competing with them. Okay, so let's just put it on the table. If we're not competing against athletes in the portal, here's what we are competing against. College coaches now have to make a decision how many athletes they're going to get from the portal. So just for easy numbers' sake, say they're going to get 25 athletes from the portal. If we're not competing against them, we are competing for a scholarship because there's still a fixed number of scholarships on every roster. So if half of those go to the portal, half go to high school, we have just condensed the opportunity for a high school athlete to get a scholarship. So that means you are competing against the portal. Word it how you need to word it to make you feel better, but you're competing against the portal. Simple as that. Thousands of athletes. Now remember, the portal is new. It started in 2018. So we're talking 5, 6, 7, about 8 years. And every year it's only done one thing. It's grown. Every year there's more and more athletes that enter the portal. So this isn't going to change. I know NCAA and they're working on some things and they're talking about closing one of the portal transfer windows. And I get all that, but it's here to stay. It's here to stay. So high school athlete, student athlete, here's what I need to tell you. Don't spend all your time reading about the portal, reading about this. Don't spend all your time negative, talking about there's not scholarships and colleges aren't recruiting high school anymore. Stop. Because that's not going to solve the equation. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to work even harder to prove that you are that athlete that deserves that Division I scholarship offer. Period. Remember, there's limited opportunities now. So if there's limited opportunities, you have to prove that you deserve that opportunity. So you can no longer be casual about your recruiting. You can no longer be casual about training and lifting and the weights and the supplements and nutrition and all that. You cannot be casual about that anymore. Now you have to wake up and focus 100% because the opportunity has just got even smaller. And I say that because it was always a low percentage of athletes that got Division I scholarships. That's been in the history. If you think about how many seniors graduate from high school that play football, that even if we don't say the whole team, we say how many seniors that graduate and have the goal of playing Division I, of those, how many get the opportunity? Last time I checked, it was about 2%. Very, very low number. So now if the portal is taking half or whatever the number is of those scholarship opportunities, what does that percentage go to now? So how do you make sure that you're in a position to where you're one of the athletes that actually gets the full ride scholarship? Not just one of the ones talking about it, how the portal sucks and how it changed this and it messed up this. What are you going to do about it? That's the real question. What are you going to do to put yourself in a position to be successful? And I don't care if a Division I school says we're only giving one high school athlete a scholarship. What you got to do to become that one? That's what I want to know. That's what I want you to think about. So as people go through the portal and go through all the different trends and the growth and how it's changing and how it's changing recruiting, all those are facts. They are here. Not going to change. But what are you doing to separate yourself from the other high school athletes? The ones that you are battling directly with for limited scholarship opportunities. Whatever position you play, think about how many athletes there are around the country playing that same position. How many of them have the stats, have the film, have the size, the measurables? How many? That's who you're competing against. So what are you going to do to separate yourself and be in a position to win that D1 offer, period? Yeah, we're going to get some guys out the portal, but we really like you. And we really want to bring you in on a full ride. We have big plans for you. All right? That's how we want to look at it. Now, here's the last thing I'll leave you with when it comes to the portal, right? So when a college coach is recruiting a portal and then a college coach is recruiting a student athlete, a high school student athlete, what I want you to think about is this. Now that the portal is a possibility, now that any athlete can enter the portal, the school can't stop them, the coach doesn't have to sign off on it or anything. They could enter the portal. It could just simply make the announcement, fill out the paperwork, and they're in the portal. So with that said, one thing that's very important that you know as a high school student athlete is when these college coaches are recruiting you out of high school, meaning you're a junior, you're a senior, they're recruiting you out of high school, you best believe that their intention is for you to play immediately. Immediately. They are not recruiting you to develop you for 2-3 years and put you in the system and put you in the weight room. You're going to do all that. But understand their goal when they recruit a high school athlete, they have to have the mentality that that high school athlete is going to come and contribute to my program day one. Not sophomore year, not junior year, not senior year. Day one. That's how they have to think now, because they could go to the portal and get an athlete that's ready day one. So if they're going to recruit a high school athlete, they have to feel like this is it. He's got it. He's going to come in. He's going to be a day one guy for us. If not day one, it's going to be mid-season. We're getting quality playing time. That's how they're looking at it. So once again, if that's how they're looking at it, and we're up against the portal, and it's limited scholarship opportunities, what are you doing to separate yourself? What are you doing on a daily basis that when a college coach evaluates you, they say, this is a day one guy. This is a day one athlete going to come in and contribute to my program. That's the question you got to ask. So once you ask that question, be honest and answer it. Answer it based on the reality and make whatever changes you need to make. If you thought you were committed, there's another level of commitment that you got to reach, and you got to keep working to get to the next level. So with that, I thank you for watching this video. If you made it to this point, I appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to continue to bring you all the recruiting heat, information, tactics, strategy, all the good stuff to put you in a position to get you to the next level and ultimately get that Division I offer. That's our goal. So with that, subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video with somebody that needs to hear it. And we'll see you on the next one.